Good day to Miss Rachel and for every one of us. My name is Sylvester Ipimar B. Celestial, a first-year student with a course of Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Mathematics. So this video is a continuation for the discussion of the topics under Socio-Emotional Development of a Preschooler. I'll be discussing about expression of basic emotions, receptivity to others' emotions, receptivity to emotions and having empathy, interaction with adults, and the role of caregivers in the socio-emotional development of a preschooler. So without further ado, let's begin. And now, let's take a quick look of what preschoolers can do. Expression of basic emotions. So when we talk about basic emotions, we think about happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. A child under the age of 37 to 48 months or 3 to 4 years is already capable of expressing of what he or she likes or dislikes. The child can also talk about the difficult feelings he or she experiences. Example for this is anger, sadness, and worry. So in the standard of self-regulation of feelings and emotion, a child can be willing to put their self in a certain situation in order to learn more about something even if he or she is not sure about the possible outcomes. The child also has the perseverance in facing challenges or new tasks. The child will be willing to carry on something even in the face of difficulty. The child also accepts brief delays in gratification. They also accept defeats as well. They may have some fears, but is not overly fearful, anxious, or nervous. So they might have mild fear, but it will be gone in a short period of time. They also feel sad sometimes, but not to the point where they get depressed. So they move on a lot quicker than adults. Display of self-appraisal emotions. The child plays to learn a game. He or she plays the game to master it. They show pleasure and enjoyment over his or her successful attempts or efforts. They also join small groups, especially when the situation is competitive. They also seek assistance from an adult or a child to solve a problem, especially when they can solve a problem by themselves. So basically, the possible emotions that the child will feel in this part is shame, pride, and guilt. And that's some of the reasons of a child developing his or her competitiveness. And that's how a preschooler displays their expression of basic emotion. So the next topic is receptivity to others' emotions and receptivity to emotions and having empathy. So a child under the age of 37 to 48 months or 3 to 4 years already feels others' distress and acts appropriately. An example for this is when they feel someone needs help, they will try to help them. And when they feel someone is sad, they will try to comfort them. Emerging of self. The child will have the knowledge of self and basic roles of people in his environment. A child may not understand everything around him or her yet, but he or she already understands a little bit of the role of the people that surrounds him or her. For example, is their parents or their guardians. The child can be very comfortable with them and he or she will go immediately to them if they feel bad or uncomfortable because they already know that their parents or guardians will take care of them. So next is a child talks about the body and their functions. A child talks about specific abilities and characteristics. They talk about singing, dancing, and many more. A child can also describe what primary caregiver can do, what they like about them, and what they don't like about them. A child also defends possessions with determination. A child can also give reasons or justify why he or she acted the way he or she did. So in this part, a child can develop the characteristics of being a reasonable person, and they can also give their own opinion towards someone or something they did. So next is forming attachment. A child shows preference for the company of significant adults and children over unfamiliar adults and children. So basically, the child can recognize the people whom he or she attached with. They will avoid the people they don't know and prefer going with the people he or she is attached or the people whom he or she is comfortable. And now, let's talk about interactions with other children. A child plays with 2 or 3 children using the same play equipment or toys. They also participate in games with other children but plays in his own way. A child also chats with other children. They also take turns and share toys with others. They actively participate in classroom and group routines and activities. And a child also plays organized group games fairly. So to simplify all of that, this is where we discover the nature of a child of being friendly. They will constantly develop it and eventually they can be attached to other kids and they will share their toys and plays with them. Next, let's talk about interaction with adults of a preschooler. A child under the age of 36 to 48 months verbalizes feelings related to the events that arise in classroom, home, and environment in a positive way. A child speaks respectfully with adults using po and opo or with appropriate titles. A child also recognizes the importance of adults' ideas and experiences by listening and asking questions when they share this. A child clarifies rules and routines before abiding by them. A child also shares personal perspective when he or she does not agree with or see the value of a rule or routine. And a child can take on another person's viewpoint. So in this part, the child will learn how to be respectful towards older people. They will show politeness and follow the orders of their parents or elders. The child will start to develop their self of being a person with respect. They also start to ask questions regarding to the rules that they need to follow. Let's talk about their pakiramdam or sensitivity. A child knows when to stop asking questions or when he is being makulit. A child also cooperates to minimize conflict or tension. So the child will begin to develop their capability to understand the feelings of the people around him or her, and they will also develop to be a considerate and thoughtful person. Next is let's talk about how a child appreciates diversity. A child asks questions that indicate he or she notices differences in socio-economic status. They ask questions about new or different words or dialects and practices in the community. They talk about gender differences and roles. A child regards everyone respectfully using proper titles or labels and does not resort to name calling. A child is willing to make friends with other children and adults in different situations and locations. They will try to make friends in school and they will also try to make friends in their neighborhood. So this refers to how a child becomes a part of the society. Even though he or she doesn't realize it yet, they are developing themselves to be a person that is active with the society someday. The child will be curious about a lot of things that they want to understand almost everything around them. They keep on asking questions to adults. They also start to develop to be a person with respect by being polite towards adults and be friendly with other kids. And the last topic that we'll talk about is the role of caregivers in the socio-emotional development of the preschooler. So from the discussion we have earlier, we can see the very important role that parents and teachers play in the socio-emotional development of a preschooler. And these are the following tips that are given to caregivers. Number 1. Greet each child with his or her names each day. Be sincere and respectful to each child. Number 2. Read storybooks that deal about friendships and different feelings. Number 3. Develop routines in the home or school that encourage working together and getting along. Number 4. Help children learn to make rules and play simple games by providing opportunities for them to play in small groups. Number 5. Play games that involve social interaction and teamwork. Number 6. Observe how a child plays with other children. Teach him to request, bargain, negotiate, and apologize. Number 7. Help children understand and cope with strong feelings by giving them words that they can use to express how they feel. Number 8. Use dolls, puppets, or pictures to demonstrate to children how to express feelings appropriately. Number 9. Acknowledge how the child feels. For example, one can say nalulungkot ka dahil hindi ka nakasama sa party. When we do this, we are able to model to the preschooler that it is important to listen and that having feelings, even negative ones, are okay. Number 10. Catch children doing good. Affirm the efforts they make to accomplish something. Be specific in your praise. For example, do not just say, "Good job" or "Very good." Instead, say, "When I saw you pack away your toys, I felt really happy." Remember to always pack away. Number 11. Read storybooks that deals about friendships. And number 12. And for teachers, develop routines that encourage working together and getting along. So by doing those tips, the caregivers will help the child develop themselves to be a productive, polite, and friendly person when they grow older. Parents and caregivers must offer their children love, acceptance, appreciation, encouragement, and guidance so that the child will become a person that they want to be proud of someday. And that's it for my discussion about some topics under the socio-emotional development of a preschooler. Once again, good day.